Alrighty, let's do this. So hey guys, my name is Sir Frenchelot. I'm in charge of No Runes GG. Today I'm going to bring you a patch rundown of 6.17, which just came out about 2 hours ago, I think. I haven't really gone through it yet, so I'm going to have to read it as we go through. I just kind of glanced over it just to see which champions were nerfed and buffed. There's actually a lot of champions, so I'm going to try and run down quickly. Keep in mind, I am a Plat 5 player, so my input on champions is from my perspective, not from a professional's perspective. So, this is based off of what I've seen in my solo queue games, and what I think these changes can do to the meta that I play in, um, and if I agree with the changes or not. So I'm going to go up and start with Annie. So what they ended up doing with Annie is that her Tibbers runs off faster after Annie dies. So Tibbers movement speed, so bonus movement and attack speed after Annie death decays 20% faster. I think this is great because I hated that when I laned against an Annie, or I'm an ADC main. So when I played up against an Annie, or played in lane against an Annie when I was mid, if I play mid, the fact that you kill her and your reward is just getting slapped in the face by a bear continuously and he outruns you is kind of dumb. I feel like for killing Annie, you should get rewarded with not dying or not with her returning the kill. Um, so I just feel like it's not part of a kit, and it never showed identity. Like like she needed a buff, but that was just kind of a dumb buff in my opinion. Especially when you're soloing her. Like it's okay in team fights, but I don't know. A 1v1, there's no outplay factor when you tried killing Annie when her Tibbers just pounded you after she died. So I think this is a good nerf. At least like it gives Annie less of an opportunity to get back into the game, or to get more damage onto you. For Ashe, I'm not even gonna I'm gonna start off by saying that Ashe definitely needed nerfs. I think that what she should have gotten, because I can see right now that that's not what they ended up doing completely, is her Q definitely needed a nerf, but I think her ult needed a cooldown nerf. I feel like her ult was up way too much. I don't think the damage was the problem. I just think it's the ult being up every 30 seconds when you had 40% CDR. So what Riot did is they nerfed the duration of the Q, which I think is fine, especially at earlier levels. It was very, um, it just really kept the other ADC down, especially if that's slow, so you could just dish out a ton of damage. What I would have liked that they did instead is kind of help her nerf her early game more and keep her late game damage, I think. Actually, no, I'm fine with this nerf. This is a completely acceptable nerf. Her ult, they nerfed her damage early on, which I guess is fine, but it's still, the ult is still gonna, it's really the stun and the amount of time that ult is up. Like, I think it's about 30 or 32 seconds once you get 40 CDR, which is ridiculous. It's like you could use the ult, kill someone, come back to lane, and the ult is back up. It's kind of like the whole Irelia thing, where she would just come back to back to her lane with her ult up already and kill you again. But I mean, this is a good direction for now. She definitely. I'm not gonna say she didn't need nerfs. She definitely did. But yeah, this is a beginning, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up nerfing her cooldown. Or cooldowns, because her W is also a pretty low cooldown. Core key. Attacking wards no longer cancels the package speed boost. I wasn't even aware that was a thing. I'm glad they fixed it. Moving on. Diana. E pull distance increased. So this is a buff. This is a buff. Dynamic gameplay like that if menu consists of right mode. What was her win rate? I haven't seen a lot of Diana's, but when I do see them in my games, well, maybe I should do this. When I did see them in my games, um, she tends to wreck. Especially as an ADC, I'm very squishy, so she just completely destroys me. Um, well, I mean, I guess she could have used a buff. I mean, it's not. That's a pretty big range. Oh wait, no. Okay, never mind. Never mind. This is just a pole, not the actual circle radius that's increased. Okay, never mind. This is a fine buff. I thought they increased the radius of the her pole distance, but it's just the actual champion being pulled closer to her. So like that, the champion being pulled distance, that's what's being changed. So yeah, I mean that. I guess that's fine. That's a good buff. I'm gonna leave it at that. Draven, our cooldown and cost reduced. He did need some buffs to get back in line with the other ADCs. I personally don't like Draven. I've tried playing him so many times. I just suck with him, so I don't like him as much. And he really does have this characteristic of if you don't get a kill, you end up falling behind. Like you need kills to snowball. You just need to snowball your lane really hard. Um, I mean, he did need buffs, so these are good. Yeah. Evelyn, our cooldown decreased. Alright, that's a good buff. You don't really see a lot of Evelyn, so as you guys can see, I'm playing a lot of Kog'Maw. Out of all the champions, he should be the one getting nerfed, in my opinion, but Evelyn. I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of Evelyns in my game, so I can't comment on these. I think this is fine then. Yeah. Ezreal. This is a buff. Cool. Yeah, he's been going downhill a lot. He's mostly just a pokey champion, which the poke damage is really good, but he just kind of has a really stale mid game, I guess. Like if he gets I don't know. Like he just falls off really hard. So I guess, yeah, this would really help him at later levels because this is a buff overall. Like at 50% at all levels, 10% at all levels. Now it just scales up better. So now he won't fall off as hard in the late game, which is nice. Yeah, he needed those. Gangplank. He needs nerfs. In competitive and in solo queue. Um, I thought he was in a good place because less people started playing him. Um, but after this, he's been resurging, and I've noticed that the power that he held is still there. Like he can, that armor pen of his is just insane. Because after that crit was gone from Trinity Force, a lot of people ended up getting Youmu's as a second item instead of Infinity Edge. So his armor pen is just ridiculous. Because the powder kegs, I think, do like 40% uh, armor pen. I don't remember completely. I just don't want to check. I'm too lazy. But he just does a lot of damage, so he needed nerfs. So more mana costs on the Scurvy, which is nice because the sustain gets hit right there. Fixed a bug where the physical damage dealt to a barrel when detonated was proccing some lifesteal and spell effects. I don't know how significant that was, so I can't comment on that. And his ult definitely needed a nerf again as well. The damage, definitely. Although it's not a huge nerf. Oh, well, no, it is a big nerf during early phase. The early game. Which, yeah. He should be, if he's going to be a late game champion, don't give him so much power early on. And then the cooldown was nerfed again. But this is for the early game as well. Which, again, he needed. I'm okay with him getting to the late game, kind of like Kog'Maw and Vayne, but make it very hard to get to that late game when he does that much damage. So yeah, those are fair. Gragas. I saw this on PBE, so I kind of know what's going to happen here. I think, yeah, so the R got nerfed. It's a fixed travel time, which I think hurts him a lot. So he can't do a point blank ult anymore. Like, you could probably easily flash that at this point. Um, and then his E-body slam cooldown is increased at early levels, and to fix a bug where dashes through target body slams. Oh, okay. Yeah, but he needed this. He's been in almost all of my games. Especially with the fact that I'm just abusing Kog'Maw right now. Like, I think I have a 10 win streak with him right now. I've been seeing a lot of Gragas trying to get me out of position and Leonos, but I won't comment on that right now. Jace. E cost down. Our AP ratio replaced with AD ratio. I didn't even know if that had an AP ratio. So this would really help him out. Just switching it AP, because, let's see. Yeah, he never built any sort of AP, so it's always 80. So him having AP 80 ratios would just really help him a lot, especially when it's 0.4. So 40%. Yeah, that's a lot. And then the mana, 40 mana at all ranks. That's a big buff. Especially when you're considering 90 mana. Yeah, that's a really big buff. I think we'll see more of him. Well, actually, it depends on the meta. Because if you get, let's see. Right now, we've been seeing a lot of. I think he could also be played mid though. This is hard. I haven't seen him a lot, so I feel like I don't think he'll be mid. I think he'd be top. Which in solo queue or dynamic queue, whatever you want to call it, is. Yeah, I mean he has that range which is perfect. So his laning phase is just a lot better now. Like he has more sustain because he uses less mana. Um, and usually I think this is the second ability you maxed. So the fact that you don't have to use 90. Actually, no, this is not that big of a buff. I'm sorry, because this is the second ability. So in lane, like this is towards the end of laning phase that this is going to help you. Anyways, either way, this is helpful. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm retracting almost everything I just said. This is not that big of a buff as I thought. I still think we're going to see a little more of him though. Jin definitely needed nerfs. I played him a lot as well. But since I knew he was going to get nerfed, I kind of stopped playing him as much and just kind of focused on Kog'Maw and Ashe more. So let's see what they did. W80 ratio down. Fair. R no longer refunds cooldown for unused shots. I guess that's fair. R execute damage up, base damage down. Alright, I kind of like where they're going with this. Because the ult was very oppressive. Like in lane or just if you're ganking mid. Or if you're trying to get Dragon, like you're just trying to pick him off as they try to get away from Dragon after they take the enemy team take Dragon. Like a W followed by just Jin being outside of the fight, doing a W and an R. Pretty much that was it. Like he pretty much made the team win if he was even in lane with his other ADC. So yeah, these are definitely like this makes it so that you really aim for the people with low health, and that you can't just like 100-0 someone, or like 80-0 someone. And then you get punished for not finishing your ult as well. Jinx, R ratio increased. I think she's in a really good spot. I don't see why they should need to buff her. Granted, this is a very small buff, so yeah, never mind. That's not that big of a deal. I guess she needed a little bit of a push to get her in line with the other ADCs. I mean, I've been playing her a lot too, and I didn't. All right, yeah, this is okay. It's not going to change her that much. She's still a good ADC right now. Kennen, I haven't seen him a lot. I don't know how these changes are going to affect him. I mean, for the better. It's just smoother Kennen basic attacks. That's not going to change much. This is good for colorblind people. Just glossing over it. It's nothing, no big deal. W, cooldown 14 seconds to 12. Oh, wait, no, don't do this. Malphite is one of the worst people to play against as an AD carry main. So yeah, the W cooldown is decreased. Oh, it's just 2 seconds, so that's not too big of a deal. Bonus armor is increased. Ugh, that's gonna suck. 5%. Especially if he, like, usually Malphite is picked as a like it's a situational pick. So he's usually picked when the other team is heavy on the AD. So when that happens, he tends to just build a lot of armor. 5% of a lot of armor is a lot of bonus armor. So, and then the damage, active damage ratio is also buffed. Granted, not by much, but still, it's not going to be fun for ADCs. I don't know if we'll see that much more of him because I feel personally that he's a situational pick. Uh, Morgana. I haven't seen that much of her. She wasn't one of my games earlier, but yeah, I mean, I guess this is a good way to get her back in line. Um, Oriana. Oh, well, World is coming, I suppose. Our cost and cooldown decrease. Alright, yeah, this is good. Probably see more of her. This is kind of nice, especially at earlier levels. I mean, at later levels. Cooldown. Yeah, this is nice. Her ult is up a lot too, but she needs it to be effective. Poppy buffs. That's nice. Good for tankiness, and good for the support Poppy as well. Cool. Yeah, I like him. Haven't seen a lot of Poppies, so I guess they needed to do something to bring her back up. Rek'Sai nerfs. E and R cooldowns increased. I think this is like the eighth nerf she's getting. I've been seeing her a lot in solo queue, but I don't think she's that big of a problem. I mean, she has a lot of pressure on the map, especially when like she just ults. She getting from one across the map is really easy with her. But I didn't think she needed another nerf. I thought she was in a good place. I mean, oh, you know what? Yeah, in competitive, I guess yeah, they're trying to hit the competitive Rek'Sai because I don't think she's that big of a problem in solo queue, dynamic queue. Riven buffs. Yeah, I don't even know. Just I've been seeing so much Riven, and I'm already kind of tired of it. Seeing buffs for her, those are really big buffs. Ugh, I don't even want to think of more Ravens. Rise, range. Yeah, he needed this because people didn't even put a point in R. So I don't know how much of a range this is. I feel like this is a lot. I have to check tomorrow when the patch comes out. I'll check. But yeah, he needed it. So that, yeah, this is a good nerf. I mean, a good buff. Sivir needs nerfs, yes. WAD ratio decrease. R passive attack speed decreased. Mm. Yeah, I mean, I guess they hit the right. See, what really broke her, in my opinion, is giving W the chance to crit on each single ricochet. This is kind of like a yeah. This is kind of addressing that issue. I feel like. Like, because she got crits now on those, let's lower the bonus attack damage ratio. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to hit it, because that really did a lot of damage. It was insane, especially late game. Passive attack speed. Yeah, I mean, she needed those, I guess. This one is good. Good nerf. This, yeah, that's good. I mean, 20% late game, 10% early. Yeah, that's still a really good nerf. She needed that. Thresh, that's a buff. 30 seconds late game. That's not bad. Helps us late game. E cooldown. I'm just gonna start going a little faster because I feel like we still have a lot. And I'm pressed on time. I have to go cook. And I have a lot of texts that I have to answer for work. Trundle. E cooldown decrease at early ranks, increase at late ranks. He needed a nerf. He's kind of really annoying to deal with in lane, top, and spot as a support as well. And that slow is very devastating. Not only does he block your path, the slow is just horrible as well. So yeah, it kind of forces people to use better pillars. Like you can't just waste it. Vayne buffs, yes. I love Vayne, but I haven't played her in a while. That Q tumble on the turret was a good way to buffer, and I'm happy they're also increasing the ratio on it. So we'll probably see more of Vayne again. Her laning would still be rough, I feel like, but scaling wise, this is good for her. She skills better. Veigar. Takedown bonus. I don't know. I feel like this is not that big of a deal. Like, once he got his ult, he could one-shot the other laner, depending who it was. Like, I don't think, maybe not a Vlad, but if you think of any, like, Anivia, Annie, any other mid laner, he could one-shot them already at level 6. Usually, if he farmed well. So this, I mean, you're still going to one-shot them at 6. Maybe slightly earlier. Yeah, I mean, it just rewards you for killing people more. Vi, passive and Q cooldowns decrease at early levels. I guess I'm going to see more Vi again. Never mind. That's not that big of a buff. I don't like Vi. But then again, I'm an AC main, so that's that's what I feel about. I just don't like playing against her. Her ult is just really annoying. She's kind of strong too. Like she can 1v1 an ADC usually if yeah, she ults you, she saves the Q, you try and flash, she Qs you to stick on you, and then she just keeps auto canceling and hitting you with E. Or auto resetting with E. I mean, this is fine. She hasn't seen a lot of play lately, so they needed to do something for that. Splashes, turret AI. This is nice. I already saw this earlier on Reddit. Now the person who's closest to the turret, who's attacking the turret, when it changes targets, makes it so that the turret actually targets the tank. Because usually the tank is always the one that's closest to the turret and attacking it. So instead of like randomly getting the ADC or like someone else, this is nice. Because it was really annoying when it just like randomly hit the ADC and he got two shot by the turret and he was already like 1/4 of health. So yeah. And then those are buck fisses, so we don't care about that. And arcade skins, which are cool. Oh, and chromas are back. Alright. Yeah, that was it, guys. Overall, this patch is a lot of balance changes. But, I mean, yeah, most of these are warranted. Like, there's nothing that I'm like, oh, right, what the hell. Well, actually, that's a lie. Riven. I don't know why they're doing this to us. Like, all of us collectively. Um, But yeah, other than Riven, I think these are completely fair and fine. So yeah, that was it, guys. Sorry if this is a little boring, and you know, I'm I'm not a professional player, so my input might not mean a lot to you, but this is what I feel like, and hope you liked it. And if you did, follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, whatever you want to do. Thanks, guys.